Marty, we're preparing for the run of fixtures that we all know is coming. As supporters, we love it. From a coach's perspective, getting your players ready, resting, training, tactical preparation. How do you go into this period?
It's intense, it's a challenge, but at the same time, I love the tradition in English football. So I think all of us, we are excited to face, I would say, an important moment of the season. Not only because what means and what represents for the football history of the country, but at the same time because we know is a challenge, but at the same time an opportunity to pick a lot of points.
Has the results over the last 7 fixtures changed your mindset about what can be achieved in the second half of the season?
To be honest, not much. I try to be, as you know, always very feet on the ground and looking forward just to the next game. So obviously we have a plan in the long term on how we want to develop as a club and the way we want to play and how we want to help players to be the best version of themselves. But at the same time, I think that football has shown all of us in QPR over the last few weeks that it can change very quick. And that's why I stay very focused on the task, on understanding that we have a new game now in 2 days and that we need to be ready for this challenge, because whatever we achieved the last 7 games, that has been really good, it will not help us to win the next one.
We often talk about what you learn about your players during difficult spells. What have you learned about your players during this far more enjoyable spell?
That they can have a better mood when we win football games. That I think the guys have been deserving this. Honestly, it was not easy, as you know. It was not easy for anyone to be such in a long spell of games without a win. I think before that I never been more than 5-6 games without a win, and suddenly it was much longer. So the players, of course, they were not happy. They were suffering. They were worried, and these affect, as you know, the performances. Now we see the opposite. I think our last game, as a reference, it's probably the best game of the season so far in terms of how complete was the performance, in terms of how many chances we created, how many few we conceded, the comeback, the level of the game. So in my opinion, the team is growing. But now we need to be aware that at some moment, it's not going to happen that we're going to be the next 30 games or 20-ish games until the season is over without a defeat. We need to accept that this might happen, and then we need to be ready mentally to bounce back, because it turns very quick and we have a lot of job to do. We have a lot of things that we need to improve and a lot of points that we need to collect.
No one knows what the future holds, but do you feel more confident that we can avoid that longer stretch without victory?
Yeah, definitely. I will be, it's not even in my mind to think about a spell like this. For me now, the main priority is to understand that all these last 7 games are helping us to grow, but at the same time that we are ready for the next one, because we cannot relax 1%. In football, in the moment that you give 1 inch to the position, it's the first step to lose a football game. So I think that we need to keep reinforcing the things that we are doing well. I think that we need to keep working on the things that we can do much better, because there are many things in our way of playing that we can still improve. And what I'm satisfied is that I see progress. That for me as a manager is always the sign that says if we are in the right direction or not. And when I see the last performances, one detail, for instance, we spoke a lot about the first half against Oxford and against Bristol were not good enough. And the way the team started against Preston was definitely an improvement. So these are the small things that internally we try to discuss, try to find the ways on how we can improve. And then it's about executing that properly.
The only disappointment from the weekend, of course, was the injury to Steve Cook. It's been detailed that he's going to be out for a period of time. In terms of the level of time, we're not sure at this stage. But from that perspective, obviously a blow to lose Steve Cook.
Yes, because first of all, he's our captain and he's a very important player for us. And second, because he's a fantastic guy and very important in the changing room. So it was very sad to see him under a lot of pain. After the game, we were a bit worried, and obviously now we know through the medical test that what kind of injury it is. And it's going to be a massive loss, because he has been so important. But at the same time, I think that the whole group wants to give something back to him, to Jan that we are missing, to Cadiz, for the guys that have been or are far from coming back. It's tough, and we need to work as well for them. So hopefully it's going to be as short as possible, and we're going to respond with good results and good performances during his period out.
And ahead of the game against Swansea, obviously Christmas Day is the day when people will be enjoying times with their families. What's your schedule and the players' schedule like for Christmas Day?
Well, the schedule is that we're going to work now until probably a bit late in the office preparing the game. Tomorrow we are back to training, and we need to go to Swansea and the coach. So that's the reality of professional football. But I'm glad that Boxing Day is such an important day of football in England, and hopefully it's going to be a great football game. And with our fans coming, hopefully we can give them a good Christmas gift.
And the Swansea test, they've lost their last 2 fixtures. What are you expecting from them? And is part of the challenge now, because of the run we've had, that horrible word of expectation that starts to grow?
Yeah, but I think that now we learn that we need to forget about what expectations and just cope with those expectations, because we spoke about it during summer, we spoke about it after winning against Cardiff, and now we know. The reality is that Swansea is a good football team. It's true that the last 2 games they didn't get the results that they wanted, but they're a team that certainly plays really well in possession, that they have a lot of technical players, that they have a very clear identity and style. And it's going to be tough. Last season we know, with the same manager, a similar squad, we knew how difficult it was to get the 3 points from there. And we need to make sure that we're ready for this kind of performance.
And very finally, how much are you enjoying the atmosphere at ends of matches, both home and away, over those last 7 fixtures with the supporters? There's a very close relationship between everyone amongst the staff, the players and the fans. It seems very united.
I think, it was brilliant, the atmosphere in the last game at home as well, once again. So, I think that the togetherness, you can feel it as well with the players, how they celebrate in the W12, and how everybody feels those moments. So these are the proper football moments that hopefully our fans will remember for a while, and hopefully we can repeat that as well in the Boxing Day.